So in this video, we're going to talk about, again, the New York Yankees, the 500 last place New York Yankees, and we're going to have a lot of fun, and this video starts right now. So as you know, when the Mets win, the Yankees lose, it's a good day, and we'll be dealing with some really great days because we get to see the Yankee fans suffer. They can't suffer enough, and to see the Yankees being dead last in the American League East, it just fills my heart. It really does fill my heart. Every day gets warmer and warmer, knowing that the New York Mets are spending a lot of money to make their team great again, and to see the New York Yankees spend their money unwisely and really not in the way they should. Like, for instance, Carlos Rodon. They signed him to a big deal. Hasn't pitched for the Yankees. He's hurt. Aaron Judge, a.k.a. Horseface. He's hurt. Bad hip. He's got a bum hip. 31 years old. He's got a bad hip. He's on the injured list. And, of course, we can't forget about Giancarlo Stanton. That guy's always hurt. He's always hurt, this guy. The guy can never stay on the field. The Marlins fleeced the Yankees. They absolutely fleeced them. They signed him to that big contract, and then the Yankees got stuck with it. Everyone says that that's the reason why the Yankees have been so bad all these years, is because they got stuck with that contract. Well, they shouldn't have made the deal. Everybody knew that deal didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense for the Yankees to make that deal. But don't worry, Brian Cashman, he knows what he's doing. He made that deal, and the guy hasn't been able to really stay on the field. He's great talent. He hit a lot of home runs when he's on the field, but he can't stay on the field. He's always hurt. He's getting hit in the face, or is another hamstring pull, or whatever it is. Guy can't stay on the field. Great talent, just can't stay on the field. Aaron Judge has that reputation. Prior to 2022, he's been a guy that has struggled to stay on the field. It's the big reason why Pete Alonso, Mets first baseman, has more home runs than Aaron Judge has since 2019. Because Pete doesn't miss any games. Pete doesn't miss any games, and Judge is always missing games. You know. I mean that's really the difference between the two of them. One guy can stay on the field, the other guy can't. That's why Pete has led the league in RBIs and home runs since 2019. And he's the preeminent home run hitter in baseball, which he sort of gets forgotten. He's very underrated. He's not underrated here as a Met fan, because we see the numbers. I mean, Pete stays with the Mets, he's going to be the all-time home run hitter, all-time RBI leader, all-time slugging percentage leader. The slugging percentage is going to be tough because, Piazza's so high up there. But, boy, the Yankees are in big trouble. They are 8.5 games behind the Tampa Bay Rays. They are a game behind the Boston Red Sox, who are in 4th place. They're actually 2 games above 500. It's very surprising that the Red Sox, with no shortstop, are one game above the Yankees. The Baltimore Orioles, they are 5 games ahead of the New York Yankees. 5 games ahead. 6 games up in the loss column. In 2nd place in the American League East. That doesn't surprise me because I predicted before the season that the Orioles would be a wild card team. The Yankees, they dug themselves a really deep hole, and this is a good division. This isn't like the National League East, where you have 3 top teams and a couple of teams that are sort of middling or bad. You have 4 teams, and that's what the Yankees could be on the outside looking in, outside looking out when it comes to these playoff spots. And I would mention also that the Rangers have played well. Houston has played well. Believe it or not, the Angels are right now a game above 500. The Mariners, keep an eye on them. You would think at some point, even though they've lost Robbie Ray for the season, their pitching will kick in. They'll start to do what they're supposed to do, and that's win games. But the Yankees are in big trouble. They are in shambles. They don't have much of an offense, to be honest with you. This is not a great offense. Their pitching, the bullpen's been pretty good with the Yankees. Give them credit. But their starting pitch has been pretty lousy, aside from Garrett Cole. All right, let's go through the Yankees and their numbers. Anthony Rizzo, he's in 274. Aside from Judge and Stanton when he was playing, he's actually had a good year. He's had a good start. 5 home runs, 13 RBIs. RBIs is rather low, actually, now that I look at it. He's on pace to drive in less than 80 runs. That's not good for a first baseman. It's not good. Gleyber Torres, who they bragged about, the Yankee fans at WFAN bragged about how Gleyber Torres was finally going to make a big stand. 4 home runs, 10 RBIs. Anthony Volpe, who they've all been begging for the Yankees to play him. And 96 at-bats. He's got 32 strikeouts. He's struck out a third of his at-bats. His on-base percentage, 330. It's okay. Slugging percentage, 333. Pathetic. 8 stolen bases. I mean, that's okay for, this day and age, with the stolen base coming back. 11 runs scored. He's been the primary guy leading off for the Yankees. 11 runs scored. That's pathetic. His OPS plus for Volpe, 88. Means he's 12% less than an average major leaguer. That sucks. That's terrible. DJ LeMahieu, 261 average, 330 batting, slugging percentage, 446 slugging, 116 OPS plus. Nothing spectacular. Osvaldo Cabrera, the left fielder, primary left field of the Yankees, 193 hitter, OPS plus 40. Aaron Judge, prior to getting hurt, only 6 home runs. Pete Alonso has double the amount of home runs that he has, and double the amount of RBIs. So he's had a lousy start too. 14 RBIs in 29 games. That's not even 80 RBIs, folks. And this is a guy that drove in 62, hit 62 runs, 62 home runs last year, and led the American League in RBIs. Pathetic. Right fielder Franchi Cordero, who they were all bragging about when they called him up, hit 151. Giancarlo Stanton on the IL, only played 13 games. All right, let's look at the Yankees bench, which is not much better. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, the former shortstop of the New York Yankees, hitting 189. They got him in the outfield. I don't know why. He's got 2 RBIs. OPS plus, get this, folks, 21. Which means he's 79% worse than the average major leaguer. Aaron Hicks, who is emblematic of what's wrong with the New York Yankees as a franchise and organization. Hal Steinbrenner is not his father. He is not George Steinbrenner under any circumstances, because Hicks would have been traded, or he would have been out of here from the Yankees clubhouse a long time ago. This guy has been so bad with the Yankees for the bulk of his through his entire contract. And he's got a few more years on the contract. His OPS plus is 10. He's 90% worse than any other baseball player in the majors. He sucks. And he ended that game on Monday night. Willie Calhoun, I mentioned him real quick. He was back cleanup for the Yankees the other day. Josh Donaldson, the former MVP of the American League, done. And he was done with the Yankees, picked him up from Minnesota. Minnesota fleeced them. And now they're paying the price for a guy that nobody likes in that clubhouse and is not producing the way he did years ago. The Yankees pitching staff. The basic shining lights of the Yankees pitching staff is, one is Jarrett Cole and some of the guys in the bullpen. Beyond that, it is a crapshoot. Jarrett Cole is 5-0 in 6 starts with an ERA of 1.11. After the first month, he's probably the leading candidate for the Cy Young, which I would mention that for the last 5 years here in New York, all the media has been pushing him as the Cy Young for all these years, even though we had the best pitcher in baseball in Jacob deGrom. In 40 innings, he has struck out 44 batters. He's given up 11 walks, which is pretty good. 5 earned runs and no home runs. He's had a very good start. Now, the rest of this team, in terms of the starting pitching, Domingo Germán, who actually pitched well last night, Pitched 8 1/3 innings of I think 1 hit ball until he gave up a hit and then a walk in the 9th inning, and then had to come out. He's been pitching pretty lousy, but he pitched really well last night. Nestor Cortes, the very chirpy Nestor Cortes. He's got a lot to say. He's got a lot to say when he's pitching well, but he doesn't have a lot to say when he's not pitching so well. And his first 6 starts, he's 3-2 with an ERA of 4.91. In 33 innings, he's given up 30 hits and 9 walks. 18 earned runs. He's given up 6 home runs. So he's giving up a home run a game. That's not good enough. I always think of Castor Oil when I hear his name. I don't know why. Clark Schmidt in 6 starts, 0-3, an ERA of 6.84. They just run back out there, Aaron Boone. 25 innings, 22 runs, 7 home runs. At least he got 32 strikeouts, strikeout per 9 inning. That's good. Johnny Brito, who they've been bragging about, he's got an ERA of 5.56 in 6 starts. He's given up 2 home runs, the fewest in the terms of the starting staff aside from Jared Cole. Now the bullpen. The bullpen's actually been pretty good. Ian Hamilton has pitched well. Ron Marinaccio, he's pitched well. Wandy Peralta's pitched well. Although doesn't he look like he's like 90 years old or 70 years old? He looks older than his age. I don't know why. Jimmy Cordero's pitched well. Michael King has pitched really well. Clay Holmes is a disaster. And I bring him up because he's been a guy the Yankees put a lot of faith in, and he blew that game last night. He blew that game. Now the Yankees are in deep trouble because they don't have Aaron Judge. They don't have Giancarlo Stanton. Carlos Rodon has not pitched for the Yankees. Nestor Cortes hasn't pitched well. Domingo Germán has not pitched well other than last night. And they've had multiple injuries to this team. But the injuries cannot be an excuse for this sort of going through the motions, sorry, woe is me kind of nonsense. Especially if you're here in New York City, the hellhole of America. But, the Yankees are in big trouble, specifically without the 2 big guys in the lineup. Jared Cole can only do so much, and if he pitches great, and that bullpen, especially Clay Holmes, does not lock down the games, they're in trouble. That should have been an easy win last night against a Guardian team that has not played well as well. So the Yankees had an opportunity to clean their palate. So they didn't have a good road trip. They went 2-5 on the road trip. They lost the last 3 games in Texas. They didn't look good in Minnesota. That's what happens when you get teams that are struggling. Teams that are struggling, they tend to pile on. And if it's not their year, all the bad stuff happens. So, let me know what you think about this video. Please subscribe to Baseball Head 2. Thank you. Leave comments in the comments section. I read all the comments on the last video on the New York Yankees, and it made me laugh. And thank you, and I'll see you later. And remember, before I forget, when the Mets win and the Yankees lose, it's a great day.